Hello?
Hello.
Where you going?
I'm going outside.
You want a hand?
Sure. Today's an interesting day. So, Piper is in jail. Yeah, Piper had to go to Birdie jail. So, Piper wasn't associating with the rest of the pigeons. He was being really aggressive towards his parents and towards the rest of the birds. So I decided it was time to get him to chill out. Hey ladies, you see another cat or something? So today, a possum. Yeah, a possum. The girls were going off like they are right now. They were looking up there, and there was a possum walking up with a bunch of leaves in its tail, like its tail curled around a big pile of leaves, and is walking along looking like it has a tutu on. And it goes into the culvert, or started heading into the culvert there to, hey, what is it? Okay, I guess I'll check it out. What's going on? What's going on? Is there a cat in here? So, there has been a bit of cat traffic going through here into the green belt because I discovered that the chain link fence wasn't actually going all the way across. So now the chain link is all the way across, closing that off, making it very difficult for them to be able to get in here. What's going on, girls? Is there something in the sky? That's beautiful sky. Look at that neighbor's cherry tree. Beautiful. Look at that. Look at ours. It's a nice bloom too. Oh, potatoes. Potatoes galore. Look at that. I didn't plant a single potato. Not one. This is just what I didn't grab out last year's season that I didn't find. I went through here and dug like everything out. The only thing that was left in here that I know for sure were just like little tiny ones that were just so small they weren't worth messing with. Well, I think those little tiny guys turned into some bigger guys. Look, even purple ones coming in. All right, ladies. Hey, I'm out here and it's under control. Under control. We got this. Aren't those artichokes just beautiful? You're being so good, Pearl. You're so good. Yeah. You got like a little thingy crawling next to your eye. Little bug. Little like bee thingy. I love you, Pearl. Pearl, you're my world. Pearl, you're my girl. Freya, go get in that pond. Go get in that pond. You calm down. So, the DC pump burnt up. So the waterfall's not running. So that has to be fixed. So I'm getting a new DC pump. This time it's going to be an external, so it pulls the water up into the pump and shoots it so the pump isn't submerged. The pump that I got in the solar well kit, that fried up. So both controllers that came with that kit, with the battery pack controllers, shot. The batteries were fine inside, but the controllers to control the batteries were shot. And so that was just a waste of money completely. The only thing that was good off the deal was the 60-watt solar panel. Yeah, but for like $200, that was definitely a horrible purchase. So I'll never do that again. Order everything individually and make sure it's nice, high quality. Ain't that right? Ain't that right, mama? Mama mia. You girls are just so glowing white. You blow the contrast right out of the video. Look at everything else is, they're just like glowing. Yeah, yeah, Mama Mia. So we're gonna go sit in here with Piper, and we're gonna feed everybody and give them some nice water because they've been taking baths and pooing in there. I don't know why they poo in their water. I don't know why, but nice clean dish and some fresh reverse osmosis for him. See, he's a little agitated in there. He's definitely not happy about it. Not happy about it at all. And quite frankly, he's lucky he didn't get eaten. That's right, because I was actually thinking about having pigeon for dinner last night. Yeah. So, my rule on the homestead is there's no assholes. You're not allowed to be a jerk. That's what happened to the rest of the boys, huh, ladies? Yeah, that's why we have no boy ducks. Couldn't handle themselves. Oh, camera got a little bit of a smudge on there. Maybe that's why let's clear you off. Yeah, and I'm not editing that out. Is that clearer? Yeah, there we go. Maybe the ducks aren't blowing up so much. Yeah, see, that's better. That's how you know you got a fingerprint on the lens when the contrast of the peakings goes out of control. So, see, I like that switch. It's just so easy to open this door and close it. It's so nice. Hey there, Piper. Hey there, Piper. See, he's a bit agitated right now. And then me coming in here is really disturbing him too, because he hasn't acclimated to us. Like, he barely eats out of our hands. He's just like not wanting to be part of the group. No. So, I mean, he flew off. I think the main reason why he came back wasn't because he necessarily wanted to be here. I think the main reason he actually flew back was because it's an easy food source. It's easier to live here than it is in the wild, and he knows that. But he just doesn't want to, play the game the way that it's supposed to be played. Yeah. So we got rules on this homestead. So I'm thinking what my philosophy and theory is he really wants a mate, lady, but he just doesn't know how to go about it. And he wants to be the king of the roost, because he is a good, strong male, and if he wants that role, I don't want to be the one to deny him that role. But the thing is I just can't let him hurt other pigeons. So yesterday, the reason why I was going to eat him yesterday, here we go, there's some nice fresh water for you, is because I was in here feeding them, and Piper, while I was feeding them, hit Shango, his dad, in the head so hard that Shango couldn't fly, and he couldn't even walk for almost a half hour, maybe a little longer actually. I mean, just dazed the shit out of him. And when Bumba died, I noticed that right before he died, he was just dazed and staring at the stars. And yesterday, when Piper knocked his dad down from hitting him so hard in the head, he continued to try to go after him while he was knocked down. And I had to, basically, I didn't have to pull him off because he was afraid of me, but I had to shoo him off of his dad. So, when his dad was down, he was still going at it, trying to, you already won, so I'm convinced that he actually killed Bumba. So I don't want that kind of aggression where he's going to kill the other males. I'm hoping by pairing him up and him having a mate, that will calm him down enough where he's not so competitive over the circumstances. So, but at this point, I don't want to put another pigeon in there with him without aggressive he's been being. So what I'm doing here is I'm letting them be all around him, and he can't do anything about it. He was trying to wing chop him through the cage earlier, and he couldn't because the cage is here. And so I'm using this large dog kennel here because I want him to still be able to perch. You know, he's flown. I don't want to take his full right of flight away. But I have to have him in a place where he can't hurt the other pigeons. So we're gonna go ahead and feed everybody right here with Piper. Yeah, let's get you a good view. Yeah, everybody a good view. So we'll have him there. Yep, him there. Yeah. I'm gonna be over here. And then let's get these guys to come down and eat. So I don't know if he can actually reach the ground through here with his beak. So I'm gonna throw a little bit just right here for him, just to make sure he can fill his crop. Come on, come on. Come on, come on. And I'm a little curious how they feel about this situation, and if they're gonna, you know, are you guys gonna want to come down and eat for me now that I grabbed Piper and threw him in a cage? Yeah. So, but I want them to be able to eat together. So, we'll see if we can get them to come down. You gonna come down, Oya? You gonna come down, girl? Come on, come on. Come on, come on. You can come down here, Shango. Come down here, Oshun. Come on. Come on, come on. Come on, come on. Come on, come on. Yeah, you're not too happy about it, are you? No, but you can't get out and you can't hurt anybody. So, we're thinking which female here we want to pair him up with. Because we want to put him in there with one of the females. Now, Oya's like kind of like the queen. She's just beautiful. And she's kind of like the alpha female. Shango is the alpha male, and that's one reason why he's just like not having it. Piper wants to be the alpha. Yeah, that's why he took the highest of the highest, and that's why I put him down on the low, so that way the other birds can be on top of him. And we're just gonna have to crush his spirits a little bit. Gonna have to break him. So that way, he can get used to being around them. So, they don't seem to want to come down and hang out with me at the moment. So what I'm going to do is throw some seed down here. Okay? Right there. Piper, he has enough in there. So, we'll just throw the seed right here next to Piper. They got the water there. I'm going to go grab the other dishes, and we're going to set up out here and see how they react. So I get it, you know what I mean? I locked their friend up in a cage, and they're like, "Are you gonna lock me up in the cage? What's up with this cage? Like, why is this going on?" And then he's down here, like, just going a little bit crazy. So would you want to fly down into that? Yeah. You guys, come on. You gonna come down here? Give me one more shot. Come on, come on. Come on, come on. Alright. I don't want the video to take too long, so we'll go ahead and move the stuff. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay, guys. Yep. Minor disturbances. Minor disturbances. You're okay. Yep, you're okay. Minor disturbances. What's cool about this guy here, right? You know why I made it with a rope? Boom. Don't even have to touch the door. Just drag your foot on it. Drag your foot on the rope. Door opens. Take your foot. Close the door. Don't need your hands to operate the door. Yeah, you gotta open it, pop the switch. You don't need your hand to do that. You can do it with your wrist. You can do it with your elbow. You can do it easily. Easily opens. Okay, now that I'm out, I know the door's closed. Oshun is definitely hungry, so, and Shango, I see them looking down already. Yep, they're gonna go down there and start eating here shortly. There we go. Yep. Go down there and get some food. Yep. See how he behaves. Yeah, see, now that I'm out of there, you see him calm down. Yeah, relaxing a lot more. So he just, I mean, I get it. I caught him last night. You know, I mean, I grabbed him, boom, while he's roosting. You know, it's probably a little bit of a shock. It was like a bullet, boom. You gotta do it fast. So basically, I went up to where he was roosting, because he's fast. I mean, he is super fast. These black diamonds are like the fastest pigeons they are. So I went up to it, and I just got all ready with my stance, and just wham, with fast movement. You want to go from lower to on top of their wings, but you don't want to crush them or squeeze them. So I just keep my hand cupped like this, about the size of their back. And all you do is you go down and you put pressure down on their back, and then just pick them up gently, very gently. But that will keep their wings from opening, and they won't be able to escape. And then you just come in with your other hand, just kind of scoop them up. Yeah. Yeah, so now they're feeding. So we got 3 females in there to choose from. Yeah. We got kind of like the bronze one over there. And then we got the one right next to her standing up. And we have Oya. There's that one right there is a boy, and then the rest are boys. Yeah. So who do we pair with Piper? And then will this experiment work? Well, in the end, I end up having to just harvest them. I don't really want to have to do that. I like to give all animals a shot. And the fact that he made it in the wild for 2 days on his own and came back, like, I want that strength of genetics. I like his, I like his determination. I like his strength. I just don't like how he's yielding his power, We can take and be strong, but we don't have to be assholes. Yeah. So, forcing him to be next to everybody and him not being able to have his high roost, we're going to do this for at least a day. Get him to calm down a little bit. So then when we put one of the females in there with him and pair him up, see, there's no competition with the other males. So he will have a female. And by doing so, then, hopefully he'll be more concentrated on building nest, on raising young, and, just being a dad. So, and that's the way that I'd rather it go, because our flock is small. And at this point, it's better to build the stock up so that way we got enough to be able to allow them to fly. I really, this early in the game, don't want to harvest any of these birds. They're so valuable at this point. And since they're all genetically diverse, him getting with one of those females, that gives me even more diversity. And it's going to give me some beautiful coloring. And it's going to give me some really interesting genetics. So, in characteristics, because he's, a little bit more on the aggressive side, more skittish, um, it's gonna be, it's gonna be interesting mating him with one that's so calm and just gentle. Yeah. It'll make a mixture of emotions in there. It'll create a mixture of diversity. And so, yeah. Now everybody's fed. His parents are coming down, eating. He's not chasing his mom. He's not wing chopping his dad in the face because he's too close. See, and they're feeding the next generation, creating another young one. And I'm really hoping that, those characteristics are just, circumstantial, because everyone's an individual. And Shango doesn't act that way. Oshun doesn't act that way. Shango's like the top, wants to be the top guy and has been because he was the first here. Shango and Oshun were our first pigeons. And so, he deserves that. And he's a cool guy. He's gentle. He doesn't push his authority around. He's not trying to shove his weight around. Whereas Piper is just trying to shove his power around. It's a power struggle. And it's interesting how, they teach us so much about ourselves and humanity. We have no characteristics, nothing beyond what the animals do. Like, we literally just mimic nature in every way, and even in our social arrangements. It's really interesting. It's just like a teenage kid. Look at that egg. He's trying to make his way. He's trying to prove that he's, look at that. Isn't that beautiful? He's the one that's just literally a little bit of mud on there. Such a clean egg. It's so beautiful. They lay nice, beautiful eggs. Thank you, Opal. Thank you, Opal. And that's an Opalina egg. I actually watched her pop an egg out. She's been using that nest, which is nice. And she finally cleared the rocks out of the nest. I kept pulling rocks out of the nest, and she kept putting them back. And she'd use those rocks to crush her eggs. I don't know if she was just embarrassed that I found a dozen eggs in the bottom of the pond and I talked shit about it. And now she's like just being really nice and laying them and being a sweet girl and lovely and really showing some respect by laying her eggs in a proper place, not dropping them to the bottom of the pond to rot. It's just interesting. Like, she just you wouldn't think that those things are purposeful, but they are purposeful. They do things out of spite, out of jealousy, out of anger, emotions. They are no different than us in any way. Watching the ducks all day and then going to the grocery store and watching people when you interact, there's no difference. And I want to show you something very beautiful. Just look at that. Beautiful cherry blossoms. Look at all these cherries. These flowers, all these flowers are going to become cherries. Isn't that right, Mia? Yeah. Yeah, look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Just gorgeous. Fun fact. We all think bees pollination. Flies pollinate more things on this planet than anything else. Flies are our biggest pollinator. Isn't that kind of interesting? They like nectar too. You notice how bees never spend their time trying to convince flies that honey tastes better than shit. But you also notice flies don't argue the fact. They'll much rather eat that honey than shit, but they'll still eat the shit. And with that, hit the like, share this with a friend, family member, someone you love, and subscribe to the channel with your bell notification on. So that way you get all these videos. Yeah, you get to see these experiments, see them hash their way through, actually feel the emotions, the reality of what it's like to have a homestead and deal with livestock. What kind of dynamics are you trying to enhance here? Like what style of animal do you want on your farm? I want the strong, I want the brave, but I want the calm and charming and loving. There has to be a sense of chivalry. And Piper needs to learn some chivalry. And if he can't, then you'll watch him get roasted in a video. And it's going to be delicious. Have some butter and rosemary and garlic. Toast them up. We will just like fry them in the pan. Do like a butter saute. Oh my God, it'll be so delicious. It will be. You might be horrified by hearing that. But the thing is you have to be selective. It's just like the garden. I can't let all the plants grow in there, or none of the plants I want to grow will grow. I gotta weed through some. You know, there are weeds. And what are weeds? Is simply plants growing where we don't want them to. You know, what are animals to harvest? The ones that are just not holding the characteristics that we want them to hold. Like, what do we want to breed into the future? What do we want to create for the future? So when it comes to farming and homesteading, we are the genetic manipulators. We are manipulating genetics. We control what lives and what dies. And there has to be a sense of detachment. I love Piper. I love him a lot. But I also really love Bumba. And there's no reason for me to have to bury him in the garden, because that was a waste of meat. And you might think that's a little harsh, that that's a waste of meat, but it's also a waste of a life, a waste of a beautiful bird that, you know, made little Boo, who is, you know, a beautiful image of him, such a smart little guy who's learning so quickly. You know, it's when one animal takes another animal's life, or at least is the result of it, you know, those are just not the characteristics we want to carry on through. And so I'm willing to give him this chance. But there also has to be a line, because you can't allow the rest of your livestock to be harmed or injured by one that is just acting out. And so just like our societies, like, you know, as much as we want everyone to be able to have a chance and to be forgiven and everything, and it's good to give everyone their chance, we also can't allow folks to just run rampant and do shit for themselves and just hope it'll all work out, because it puts the rest of us at danger. And so I can't allow him to put the rest at danger. And you might be wondering, well, if Bumba died and you feel it's a waste of meat, why didn't you eat Bumba? I didn't know how long Bumba was dead for. And he was on the ground. And I didn't know at that time that it was Piper. And I was a little weary that, you know, maybe there was something going on in the coop. Maybe some weird bird disease or something, and I didn't want to take a chance. And he was already quite stiff when I found him. I mean, he was solid. So he could have been there laying there for hours. And at that point, you know, the meat can go bad. When the stomach starts to break down, those things start to flow into the meat, and it's just not worth it. And so when we harvest things, we want to harvest them quickly, remove the stomach and the organs, so that way the decomposition process doesn't begin and the meat spoil. And so that's why it's a waste of meat. Because if I knew he had to die, like if there was no other choice and he had to die, I would have ate him. Just like Piper, if I have to get rid of Piper, that I'm going to eat him, and I'm going to enjoy him, and I'm going to make a delicious meal out of him, and I'm going to honor him, and I'm going to use the best and the finest ingredients for it, and I am going to enjoy him, every part of it. And that might be a little harsh for some to come to grips with, but that's the dynamic. And that guarantees that the future generations of these birds are the characteristics that we're going for. We want them to be strong. We want them to be able to, ward off hawks, and we want them to breed and to be good, loving parents. We want them to have great characteristics overall, a good broad characteristics, not just tough. But at the same time, we want to also allow the opportunity for growth, because these are life forms that learn. Him being in there, him being lower than them all, it may humble him. Just like sometimes locking people in a cage for a bit of a time gets them to calm the rage down enough where they can go internal and think about their actions and realize that it's just not the good course to go. I'm not saying put someone in a cage forever. I'm saying give people the opportunity to change. Because education, knowledge, that's the way we do things. And perspective. When we realize the harm that we're causing to others, and that all we really want is love, anything and everything, all it really wants is love. All he really wants is a mate. And he wants to be respected by the group. But he's just going about it the wrong way. I'll see you in the next video. And again, you know what to do. Hit the subscribe.